and welcome to my channel. My name is Karuna from Complex PTSD Made Simple. And the simple part of it is that when we're together and in our community here on our channel, it's my greatest hope that you feel at ease. So when we feel at ease, we return to our natural state, that of well-being. I invite you each morning as you awaken to remind yourself that at your essence, you are well. Today, we'll look at the Eastern approach to trauma, and we'll consider the Western approach to trauma. How does the West define trauma? How does the Eastern approach define trauma? And then we'll consider, what approach is better? The Western approach to trauma is largely materialistic by its nature, meaning that the model is progressive and linear. Trauma is something that is inflicted upon us. And when something is inflicted upon us, we go in search of the answer. We go outside in search of the answer. If a trauma is inflicted, we seek a solution. This is what I mean by a progressive linear model. A model that by its nature encourages us to go outside of ourselves seeking a solution. The Eastern model for trauma says traumas are samskaras. A samskara is conditioning or residues or imprints that are laid upon our very essence of well-being. They cover our essence as well-being. So this conditioning, these residues, these samskaras form the basis for karma. Every person here has samskaras. So this levels the playing field a little bit and really allows us to take a wide angle lens view of ourselves and humanity and ask some big questions such as, why am I here? What is the purpose? And what is the purpose across humanity? The Western approach to trauma largely focuses on intellectual knowledge, gaining more intellectual understanding. This means you might read a lot of books, you might listen to many podcasts, and it means that the majority of our Western therapists will be trained in such a way. They will know their categories well, know their definitions well, know the DSM well, and consequently, when we sit in a therapeutic session with many highly skilled Western therapists, we may feel judged as if we're being categorized. And whenever we feel judged or assessed, it will bring up our triggers. It will take us off of balance because judgment and assessments are the domain of the intellectual mind. This is the very reason why whenever you come to my channel, I hope you do not feel judged or assessed. Instead, I hope you feel understood and welcomed. While a Western approach often focuses on outer validation, the Eastern approach is an inner exploration. An Eastern approach to trauma may focus on self-inquiry, contemplation, insights that arise from the inside out. The books that you find, that you read, that are connected to a pure expression of inner inquiry will feel very life-enhancing from the inside out. You'll have aha moments. You'll read a text or some ancient wisdom, and something inside of you will return to life. The very essence of you, of your well-being, will be enhanced. The question naturally becomes, is the Western or Eastern approach better? By its nature, this question is actually a question of the mind. In one of my videos, I focus on the 4 stages of healing from complex PTSD. In the early stages, when we first become aware of trauma, it's so helpful to read books, to understand, to listen to podcasts, and to gain more knowledge. So this progressive linear model, largely Western by its nature, certainly has validity. It has a place in our healing. And as you continue to mature, as you continue to integrate, go through the integration phase, you'll start to notice that the outer seeking will eventually fall short. All the classes you've taken, all the information that you've input into your dear mind, eventually it will start to ring hollow. When the mind is starting to ring hollow, many of us on the healing journey will become disappointed, or we'll feel frustrated, or we feel like this just isn't working anymore. At this point, many of us will move to pharmaceuticals or heightened coping mechanisms. The mind has reached the end of its rope, the end of what all the Western models have told us to do, to go outside of ourselves, to climb up the ladder, to do one more thing, to go out and grab it. But the Western model will ultimately fall short. This is where the Eastern approach brings your trauma full circle. Turning the mind around now and turning the mind back so it looks back upon itself and can start to climb down the ladder and come home through the process of self-inquiry, through the process of asking amazing questions that will take you everywhere, such as, am I aware? Not aware of the pen, but am I aware of being aware? It's at that point the mind starts to transform. The quality of the mind will start to transform. And you start to feel this cycle of trauma come full circle. The mind, in and of itself, cannot explain or grasp our essence of well-being, also known as the consciousness field or love or God. It cannot grasp that. So it's at that moment of self-inquiry that the mind begins to fall silent, for it has come home. It has come home to the truth of who and what we are. Within this healing timeline, you may find yourself using a very Western approach. You may find along your healing timeline that you've been drawn in your own portfolio to employ a Western model for part of your healing, but you've also been drawn to more Eastern modalities, say acupuncture. The healing portfolio is perfect for each person, and ultimately, all aspects of your healing portfolio will inevitably point toward this model of self-inquiry that takes us within. Our connection to our essence of well-being will start to soak over the samskaras, the traumas, the residues, the imprints. It will start to wash over those residues. And those residues will start to settle. When the residues start to settle, we now create less karma. Our words have continuity. What we think from our authentic self, what's rising up from our authentic self, is spoken in our world. Our actions will also have continuity. This is deeply helpful, not only for us, but for our world. All paths eventually lead to deepened inner connection, remembrance of the truth of who and what we are. Your essence is well-being. Please share this video. I always welcome your comments. If you have any topics you'd like me to cover in upcoming videos, please do share in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you back on the channel very soon.